we've got our error 500 and another error 500 and an error 503 and an error for the display and an error for the battery and another error for the battery. This is a Gen 4 smart system e-bike. It's probably one of the best selling e-bikes on the market at the moment as far as the systems go, simply because of the Bosch name. It's known throughout. However, there is one thing. When you get an error, sometimes it doesn't always show its face. So when we're talking about e-bike errors, we know the classic error that comes up on the display. So you'll get your error and then followed by a code. It's pretty normal for the majority of e-bikes with displays out there to display this, especially with Bosch. You've got classic errors such as error 500, which is what this bike is suffering from. There's probably more than that going on here though. So let's dive in, look beneath the surface and see what's really going on and if there's anything else lurking down in here that's causing any problems. We've got in front of us a diagnostics report. We're going to look through that. You'll see it on the screen at certain points of the video. When we go through this, we're obviously going to plug it in, run diagnostics, and then check for problems, software updates, etc. So getting into it, we've got our error 500 and another error 500 and an error 503 and an error for the display and an error for the battery and another error for the battery. So we've got a total of 6 errors here. So we will go through the bike, check connections that are loose. We will be doing a software update, which can fix a lot of the problems a lot of the time. And in certain cases, when there is no update available, we can also force an update, effectively flashing the current software to make sure that there's no bugs or errors that have been left behind from a previous update that has maybe malfunctioned along the way. So we can go through and fix the majority of things with just that. Then with certain issues, we need to do a bit more testing. That will mean looking for kinks in the wires, compressions on the wires. If they're like compressed down with zip ties and stuff like that, can usually cause a short or a disconnection. Some of these errors can be actually user error. So when someone's plugged in a charger and not completed the full charge cycle. We can also have hot unplugging of displays causing errors. All of these things are tracked on this smart system. Essentially here with this, we're not going to go too much into a deep dive into what's actually wrong with it. I want to talk more about how we can prevent this a little bit. We can see all the way around here, we've got loads of dirt ingress, okay? I've actually cleaned out large chunks of dirt of this already, just so I can actually access the cables to inspect it and see what's going on. You can do a lot of this at home. This is just preventative maintenance, really. When you go out for a big ride, if you've got the tooling and you're comfortable and you know how to read manufacturer's instructions, I would recommend getting yourself a crank extractor just to remove this crank off, a set of Torx keys. So you probably want, I think it's like a T15 for these little ones here, or a T10. It's really, really small. And then you can remove this cover off and you can access all of where the cabling is for the drive unit. You don't need to remove any. But what you can do is just remove the dirt buildup from around there and the water ingress. I recommend using a contact cleaner just because that is effectively isopropyl alcohol and that will just evaporate. So that won't leave any long-lasting water or debris behind. Go in there lightly with maybe a toothbrush or something that's quite soft, long bristle, just to remove all of the excess dirt. If you leave dirt there, you will attract moisture and it will sit. And it's not going to help this drive unit in the long term, being around moisture all the time. So we want to try and just remove as much as possible. You don't need to take the drive unit out just for some routine home maintenance, but it will probably help you more in the long run doing that and give you a bit more longevity than having loads of water and dirt sat around your drive unit. If you wanted to go the extra mile, you can remove the connectors quite easily. Like I said, there's various instructions about how to remove them, but effectively you lift a clip and pull it out and you can inspect the end, and on this one we can see there is moisture. That means the seal isn't working down here properly. Now we can clean this and see if that's going to carry on doing the job, but then we've also found probably one of the issues of why we've got an error 500 on here. Error 500 is normally like a software error, but I think that can overlap with a bit of water ingress and a bit of oxidization on the actual circuit boards inside and whatnot. While we're here, let's touch on trailside repairs. So we all love trailside repairs. You've got a bolt in your bag, you've got a cable tie, let's make it work. Great. When you get home, go into your local bike shop, or us, we can order you parts from Bosch directly. Pretty much every bike component we can get replacement parts for, but just don't leave it bodged, because at the end of the day, stuff will wear out quicker, things will fall off because they're not designed for that item that you fixed it with, and we can simply repair it. Let's just get it done properly, and that way it will stay on your bike and make your bike last longer. So let's finish up here then. Getting your regular annual service in is a must. It's not just for your warranty, it's also for a peace of mind, so you don't get caught out at the top of the trailhead with no power. The last thing you want to do is push it back to the car. Get it in, let's get it checked, let's get it cleaned, let's not stack up these gremlins and errors, and sort it all out, get you riding.